Hi everyone, welcome once again. We are talking about the time value of money. Time value of money, as you all know, is something which helps us to identify the real worth of money. Time value of money. It tries to tell us what is the real worth of money, as we know that as time elapses, the value of the money changes. So we are trying to know what is the present value and we are trying to know the future value. Why we are trying to know the present value? Because we know in future if we are going to get some money, some receipts, its value will be less in its worth because of inflation. And we want to know the future value because if I am investing some money today, in future its value will be more because of some interest factor that comes with my investments. So what is present value? Let's find out what is future value. Future value is equals to present value into 1 plus r to the power n. Whereas what is future value? What is present value? Present value is future value into 1 by 1 plus r to the power n. Okay, r to the power n. This is the formula of future value. Okay friends. So what we are doing here, we are trying to write it this way, the future value divided by 1 plus r to the power n. So we are trying to discount the values of money that we will receive in future to get the present value, and here we are compounding the present value with some factor in order to know what is the future value. So this 1 plus r to the power n, r means the interest and n is the years or the time, represents this factor is known as present value factor. Whereas this factor 1 by 1 plus r to the power n represents the compound value. That's a change. This is the compound value factor, compounding factor, or we can say compound value factor, and this one is the present value factor. So if you multiply the future value with the present value factor, you will get the present value, and if you multiply the present value with the compounding factor, you get the future value. So our idea is to know this factor. Once I know the factor, getting these values will be easy. This factor you can compute as I have shown you in the formula, 1 by 1 plus r to the power n, or you can refer to the tables which are generally there at the back of the book, where you can find out for n number of years at r rate of interest what is the present value, what is the present value factor. Okay, for 1 rupee, because in the book it will give you for 1 rupee. Here also you can find out for r interest rate and n number of years what is the future value or compounding factor for 1 rupee. Okay, so friends, this is for a single stream of income. If there is a single stream, suppose you are talking about 500 rupees, to find out how much is its present value if it is coming to you after 5 years, you can find out. Here you want to know for 500 rupees, if you are keeping it today, how much it will be after 5 years, you can find out here. Right friends, so now we will try to know. I think we have already seen this in the last video. Again, we have also seen that if by chance this compounding is done for more than once in a year, sometimes we have put money in the banks and they give us interest half yearly or quarterly. There is a little modification in the formula, so present value times 1 plus r to the power n, r divided by m into n into m. M represents number of compounds. Say interest is half yearly, so you will multiply n into 2. If the interest is quarterly, you will multiply n into 4. Whereas in the present value, what we do, if the discounting is done for more than once in a year, the formula gets a little modified, future value divided by 1 plus r by m to the power n into m. So nothing, just the m factor comes here if it is compounded or discounted more than once in a year. Then we have seen another case where you have present value of annuity. Annuity is some equal cash flow that comes to you in periodic interval. For example, somebody tells you that you will get 5,000 every year for next 5 years. You want to know what is its present worth today. So you can find out the present value of annuity. Similarly, if somebody says that you save 5,000 every year and with some interest you will get some money after 5 years. So you want to know what is its worth after 5 years. So that is called future value of annuity. So let's see what's the formula for the future value and the present value of annuity. So the formula is A times 1 minus 1 by 1 plus r to the power n, and the whole thing should be divided by r. This is the formula for the ordinary annuity, where A is the money, the equal sum of money or cash flows. Come to future value. Future value is equals to, which is annuity into 1 plus r to the power n minus 1. Okay. So whole thing divided by r. This is the formula for future value of annuity. Annuity into 1 plus r to the power n minus 1 divided by r. Okay friends. So what is A? A is the annuity value. What is A? A is the annuity value. Now let's move on to another case, that is called annuity due. Now whenever we are talking about this annuity, we have the assumptions or we have the case such that this money is coming at the end of the year. For example, if I say for the next 5 years you will be getting 1000, 1000, 1000. So I believe that the first 1000 I will get at the end of the year, the next 5000 I will get at the end of the year. But annuity due is a case where you are receiving the money at the beginning of the year itself, right now, at the beginning of the year. So that means the formula, there is a little change. I will say present value of annuity and I will write here due. So present value of annuity due is equals to annuity into the same formula, 1 minus 1 by 1 plus r to the power n, whole thing divided by r, and just you have to write 1 plus r. It's 1 plus r. Okay. So this is the present value of annuity due. Same thing, if you want to know what is the future value of annuity due, then annuity into same thing, 1 plus r to the power n minus 1, whole thing divided by r. Then again you have to multiply this with 1 plus r. R is the rate of interest. So friends, if you are getting the future value of annuity due, obviously the money will be more because the investments are made at the beginning of the year. Okay, so it's not at the end of the year, rather you are getting the money, you are investing the money at the beginning of the time period. Okay, so with these 4 cases, let's take up sums and try to solve and find out where the situation will fit into. So friends, we have this problem. Let's read it first. Your father has promised to give you rupees 1 lakh in cash on your 25th birthday and today is your 16th birthday. He wants to know, number 1, if he decides to make annual payments into a fund after 1 year, how much will each have to be if fund pays 8%? So what does this mean? It means that today is your 16th birthday and on 25th birthday your father wants to give you a cash of rupees 1 lakh. And he decides to make annual payments in a fund. So he wants to save some money by putting some money in a fund after 1 year. How much will each have to be? Means how much installment will be? Means he wants to save some money so that on your 25th birthday he has 1 lakh he can give you. So how many years? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So 9 years. For 9 years, because he is starting today your 16th birthday, so he will start from the end of this year and he will continue till the age of 25. Okay, so that means how much money he wants? He wants 1 lakh rupees. Okay, so the future value is 1 lakh and he wants to know how much he has to invest equally every year so that it becomes 1 lakh. So friends, I think it is a case of annuity, because annuity is the equal sum of money that you will be paying and you want to know that in future it has to come to 1 lakh. So in future it has to be 1 lakh. This is the future value and you want to know the split up, that how much you will invest so that in future you get 1 lakh. So this is the case of future value of annuity. So what is the future value of annuity formula? Annuity into 1 plus r to the power n minus 1 divided by r. This is the formula. Let's try and find out how much it will be. So see, future value is known to us, it is 1 lakh. We have to know what is A, and then this factor that I have written here, this is known as the future value of annuity factor. You can find out, either you can solve it or you can find out from the book that what is the future value of annuity of rupee 1 at 8% rate of interest, because here it is mentioned 8% rate of interest for 9 years. You can find out directly, or you can use this formula, and let's write the formula. It will be 1 plus r. R is 8%, so 1.08. 1 plus 0.08, okay, and this has to be raised to the power 9 minus 1 divided by 0.08. So let's find out how much it will be. So you can see this factor, if you find, you will get 12.488. So if you get it from the book also, this is the factor, and if you multiply this, you will get 1 lakh. So A is equals to this divided by this. So he has to deposit 8008 every year, so that after 25 years he can give you 1 lakh. Okay friends, let's take up the second case. Next, if he decides to invest a lump sum in the account after 1 year and let it compound annually, how much will the lump sum be? Okay, so here he is not going to make equal amount of investments. Here he is trying to find out, if the future value is 1 lakh, how much money he has to put in, so that after 9 years at 8% he gets 1 lakh. Here he is not paying installment every month, every year, not like that. That means it's not a case of annuity. But what is this? This is future value of money. So simply you have to put the formula of future value is equals to present value into 1 plus r to the power n. So future value, you know, 1 lakh. What is your present value is not known, but you know 1 plus r is 8%. To the power n is 9 years. So this means this is your present value factor, sorry, future value factor. You can find out future value factor from the book, or you can simplify this. So your present value will be 1 lakh divided by this value 1.08 to the power 9. So let's see how much it is. So you can see that this value comes to be 1.999. So present future value for 9 years for 8% interest is 1.999. So he has to keep 50,025 rupees today to get 1 lakh after how many years? After 9 years. Okay, interesting. Let's take up the last case. The last case is, if in A, means in this case the payments are made at the beginning of the year. So I told you, if this case is a case of annuity, and here it says that if father is making the payment at the beginning of the year instead of at the end of the year. So at the beginning of the year, that means it is a case of annuity due. So let's understand what's the formula of future value of annuity due. So we have already seen, it is annuity times, what we will do, 1 plus r to the power n minus 1 divided by r, and then multiply by 1 plus r. So let's find out future value is 1 lakh. We know this part, we have already calculated this part, A into, if you remember the last part that we have calculated, so this was 12.488 if I remember, and then this one is 1, this is extra we are doing 0.08. So if you multiply these two, then let's see how much it is coming. 1 lakh is equals to A into 12.488 into 1.08. So 1 lakh is equals to A into, if you simplify this, how much it is coming? So ultimately I got 7,414.55. So if he makes the investment at the beginning of the year, then he has to pay less. That means 7,414.55. So friends, this is all about it. So you only have to identify whether it is a future value of annuity or it is a future value of lump sum. So this is how you have to do the problem. Okay. So friends, I'll take up one more sum, and where we will see the present value of annuity due and annuity. So here are another two sums. The first one is Sadhulal Bhai is borrowing rupees 50,000. If he pays equal installments for 25 years at the rate of 4% interest, what is the annual amount of installment? So one way we are clear that this person has borrowed 50,000 and now he wants to make the payment in installments, and that is equal installment. So it is a case of annuity. For 25 years he will make the installment. So what you want to find out? You want to find out how much is the value of installments. So that means this is a case of present value of annuity. What is the formula? Annuity into, we'll put a bracket here and then we will write 1 minus 1 by 1 plus r to the power n, and the whole thing divided by r. Okay, so let's start. So we know the present value is 50,000. We want to know what is the annuity. If you refer to the table, that means you are referring to the present value table. That means present value factor of annuity for 1 rupee for how many years? 25 years for 4% interest. Else you can follow with this formula 1 plus what is the interest? 0.04 to the power n means 25 divided by 0.04. So if you solve, we will get what is the amount of installment. So let's solve this part. So friends, what we are doing, we are putting the respective values. Everything is known to us, but the only thing not known is the A value, that is the amount of installments, annuity. So after solving, we get the factor 15.623. So remember, this annuity factor is 15.623. So ultimately he has to make the installments of 3,188.2 to repay 50,000 loan per year for 25 years. Okay, per year he has to pay this much for 25 years. Okay, let's take up the next. So friends, this is another sum. Let's see what it is. A company has issued debentures of 50 lakhs to be repaid after 7 years. How much should the company invest in a sinking fund earning 12% in order to be able to repay the debentures? Means the company has taken debenture, means a kind of loan of rupees 50 lakhs. What the company wants to know, how much money it has to invest so that after 7 years the company is able to repay the entire loan. So I think this is a case of future value of annuity. So you know, future value of annuity is equals to annuity into 1 plus r to the power n minus 1 divided by r. Right friends? So you have known facts. Annuity is how much, future value is how much, but you don't know this part, that is annuity. But this factor you can find out from the table, or you can use this formula 0.12 as the earning rate is 12%. So this is 12% to the power how many years? 7 years minus 1. So let's solve it and find out how much this factor comes to be. So friends, the factor comes to be 10.089. If you solve this, you get 10.089. You can cross check with the book also. So ultimately you get this much. That means almost 4,95,589 you have to, the company has to save in the fund so that it can repay the debenture of rupees 50 lakhs. So friends, with this I think we got some clear idea about how we can adjust the value of money in order to know its true worth. So friends, that's all for today. We will meet again in another video and we will continue our discussion and develop our concepts further. Thank you. Bye bye.